Picture this. You're 11, it's late in the evening, and you walk into a castle that looks like it was designed by someone who really loved stairs, and suddenly you're being told to sit on a stool while hundreds of strangers watch. An ancient hat drops onto your head, and before you can even process what's happening, it screams your personality test results across the room. And just like that, you're now officially another student in the sea of black robes, destined to cheer in the background for whatever shenanigans Harry Potter is up to this year. I'm joking, of course. But let's zoom out for a second. Why does this crusty old hat get to decide your fate at 11 years old? Especially when it has made some questionable decisions like sorting Peter Pettigrew into Gryffindor. And more importantly, what do these houses really say about the kind of witch or wizard you are? Let's get into it. Let's start with the loudest house, Gryffindor, because they'd want it that way. Founded by Godric Gryffindor over 1,000 years ago, it's built on courage, honor, and the belief that doing what's right matters more than staying safe. But Gryffindor courage isn't about fearlessness. It's about action in spite of fear. That's why Neville Longbottom, a boy terrified of his own shadow, is every bit as Gryffindor as Harry Potter or Albus Dumbledore. Godric himself was a duelist and an idealist who believed magical education should be open to anyone with integrity, not just the privileged few, which was his main point of contention with Salazar Slytherin. The Sorting Hat and the Sword of Gryffindor both carry Godric's ideals. The hat tests courage of character, not confidence. The sword appears only to those who prove themselves brave, and notably never to those seeking glory. The Sword of Gryffindor isn't just a shiny relic, it literally absorbs what makes it stronger. When it drank in basilisk venom from the Chamber of Secrets, it became one of the few weapons capable of destroying Horcruxes. Gryffindor's bravery doesn't just shine in battle, it adapts to it. But here's the double-edged sword, pun intended. Gryffindor's strengths, boldness, initiative, moral conviction, often turn into recklessness and stubborn idealism. Gryffindors act first, think later, and apologize never. Great for defeating Dark Lords, less great for diplomacy. Their house ghost, Nearly Headless Nick, embodies this spirit perfectly, too stubborn to move on, too proud to give up. The Gryffindor dorms sit in one of the castle's tallest towers, open, visible, impossible to miss. That's not a coincidence. Gryffindor energy is about visibility, leadership, presence, and the courage to be seen doing the right thing. Gryffindor is the house of courage, yes, but also chaos, conviction, and sometimes catastrophic decision-making. Gryffindor fire burns bright, but it burns fast. And that's both its beauty and its tragedy. Now to Gryffindor's favorite enemy, Slytherin. The house everyone loves to hate, usually by ignoring that it's actually the most strategic one. Founded by Salazar Slytherin, this house prizes ambition, cunning, and resourcefulness. But more than that, it values results. Slytherin is less evil genius and more ruthless project manager. Salazar's obsession with pureblood students wasn't just snobbery, it was fear. He believed that if Muggleborns kept learning magic, they might expose the entire wizarding world. Before leaving Hogwarts, Salazar Slytherin built the Chamber of Secrets, basically his magical doomsday bunker. Inside, he left a basilisk that could purify the school if it ever fell to those he deemed unworthy. Slytherins are planners, networkers, survivors. They think in terms of leverage, magical, social, or psychological. And contrary to pop culture belief, you don't need to be cruel and just calculating. Slytherin's true genius is long-term thinking. Where Gryffindor charges forward, Slytherin studies the battlefield and flips the board. But that mindset has its risks: moral flexibility, elitism, and an occasional Dark Lord problem. They're not villains by default, they're pragmatists in a world run by romantics. If Hogwarts were a chessboard, Slytherins aren't just playing the game. They're rewriting the rules. Slytherins think in layers. They read people, analyze situations, and choose the moment to strike. They are survivors, from Snape, whose double life saved the wizarding world, to Regulus Black, who quietly defied Voldemort long before Harry did, to even Merlin himself. Sure, they've produced a few unfortunate alumni, Voldemort, Bellatrix, and a collection of Death Eaters who really gave Slytherin PR a nightmare. Their ghost, the Bloody Baron, is as chilling as their reputation, silent, bloodstained, and a walking warning about letting ambition turn into obsession. Their common room sits beneath the Black Lake, drenched in green light, symbolizing secrecy and adaptability. Their element is water, calm until it isn't. At its best, Slytherin is vision. At its worst, it's paranoia dressed as ambition. It's the house that understands the cost of power and pays it in advance. Moving on to the intellectuals. Ravenclaw, the house of wit, wisdom, and wild overthinking. Founded by Rowena Ravenclaw, the Scottish witch who quite literally designed the castle itself, Ravenclaw values curiosity and creativity above all else. It's not just about being book smart, it's about wonder, the desire to know why things are, even if the answer doesn't make you more powerful. True Ravenclaws chase curiosity for curiosity's sake. They study everything: wand lore, astronomy, the ethics of turning your ex into a ferret, not because they should, but because they can. The Sorting Hat looks for students who think for themselves and who question everything. The house mascot, the eagle, represents vision and clarity. Their element, air, reflects their detachment and objectivity. Ravenclaw's flaw? Intellectual arrogance. The belief that being right is more important than being kind. Many Ravenclaws live in their heads so much that they forget the world needs action, not just analysis. But that curiosity can isolate. Ravenclaws often drift so far into theory they forget empathy. Knowledge can enlighten, but it can also disconnect. But their curiosity and their willingness to chase truth wherever it leads is what keeps the wizarding world from stagnating. Rowena Ravenclaw's diadem was said to grant wisdom to anyone who wore it, a wearable brain upgrade essentially. But that gift came with a curse. Her daughter Helena stole it, and Voldemort later turned it into a Horcrux, proving that even knowledge can be corrupted by ego. Famous members include Luna Lovegood, Professor Flitwick, Cho Chang, Garrick Ollivander, and even Professor Quirrell. From dreamy idealists to wand-obsessed perfectionists, Ravenclaw covers the full spectrum of delightfully strange. Their common room sits high in the West Tower, accessible only by answering a riddle. No password, no cheat sheet. You either think your way in or you wait outside until someone smarter comes along. Their ghost, the Grey Lady, Helena Ravenclaw, drifts through the halls with quiet regret. Proof that even wisdom can't always outthink heartbreak. If Gryffindor lights the fire and Slytherin directs it, Ravenclaw studies the chemical composition of the flame and writes a thesis about it. And finally, the most unfairly underestimated of them all, Hufflepuff. The house everyone jokes about until they realize Hufflepuffs are the ones holding society together. Founded by Helga Hufflepuff, a Welsh witch known for her kindness, inclusion, and practical magic, Hufflepuff built her house on fairness and hard work. Helga didn't care about blood status, grades, or glory. She cared about community. While the other founders argued about bloodlines and brilliance, Helga was down in the kitchens making sure everyone got fed. Helga Hufflepuff's cup symbolized nourishment and healing. It was literally designed to bless food and enhance restorative magic. Centuries later, Voldemort twisted it into a Horcrux, turning an artifact of care into one of corruption. Classic case of no good deed goes unpunished. Hufflepuff's strength is endurance. Their weakness? Visibility. Hufflepuffs don't chase glory. They build foundations. They're the ones holding the line while everyone else argues. Famous Hufflepuffs include Cedric Diggory, who is noble to the end, Tonks, a walking ball of loyalty and chaos, and Newt Scamander, the king of introverted excellence. They all share a quiet conviction. They do what's right, even when no one's watching. The Hufflepuff common room sits near the kitchens. Warm, low-ceilinged, filled with plants and circular windows. It smells like comfort and quiet competence. It's guarded not by riddles or passwords, but by rhythm. Miss the rhythm and you get sprayed with vinegar. Humiliating but harmless, which is honestly peak Hufflepuff energy. Their element is earth, stable, nurturing, and grounded. Their ghost, the Fat Friar, was executed for healing people without permission. Again, very on brand. Hufflepuff might just be the most emotionally intelligent house in the school, and that's why they're the least likely to produce dark wizards, because kindness might not be flashy, but it is powerful. The hat might be ancient and enchanted, but it's not infallible. Some of its decisions still don't quite add up. Let's take a look at a couple of outliers. Peter Pettigrew was sorted into Gryffindor, yet betrayed his friends and spent most of his life serving Voldemort out of fear. Not exactly daring. Horace Slughorn, a Slytherin who avoided conflict and valued comfort over ambition, yet ended up helping defeat the Dark Lord. Gilderoy Lockhart, a Ravenclaw whose biggest academic achievement was taking credit for other people's work. And Cedric Diggory, a Hufflepuff who showed so much courage and leadership he could have given Gryffindor a run for its money. So, did the hat really mess up with those odd or seemingly unfitting placements? Not at all. The Sorting Hat sorts for potential, not perfection. It sees your strongest core qualities and what you could be, not what you already are. It is not set in stone. Whether that spark becomes light or shadow is up to the witch or wizard putting the hat on. So what do the houses really mean? They're not just traits, they're survival strategies. Gryffindor acts, Slytherin plans, Ravenclaw thinks, Hufflepuff sustains. When balanced, they form a complete whole. Courage, ambition, wisdom, and loyalty. But separate, they clash, compete, and occasionally produce teenage Dark Lords. The founders built Hogwarts to preserve magic, but maybe the real lesson is this: no single quality is enough on its own. Even bravery needs patience. Even ambition needs empathy. This is the foundation of the Wizarding Society as a whole. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel, and make sure to comment which house you belong to and your thoughts on the sorting system. I've only scratched the surface of the Wizarding World lore with this pilot episode, and trust me, the next few theories and deep dives get really interesting.